Hi everybody, welcome to a new episode of InMobi's Mobile Monday, where we talk about leading brands leveraging mobile. Today, we are joined by CVL Srinivas, the country manager for India at WPP. Hi Srini,
Hi,
it's great to have you for InMobi's Mobile Monday.
pleasure.
Look forward to a great discussion. The fight for Bharat just got real this year. Everybody, has
Yeah,
been calling out how, and this is including the online first companies,
yeah,
calling out that we really want to look at the next set of consumers. So Flipkart has launched something called TooGood.com. They have that, and
yeah,
they've built it for the tier two, tier three towns.
yeah,
OEMs are looking to build, and they've always been doing that for the last 2-3 years.
yeah,
So how do you see, the fight for Bharat evolving? Because you work with a lot of the brands,
yeah,
right? Both, which do mass as well as mobile first kind of
yeah.
marketing. So
Yeah, it's interesting that you asked that question because I mean, just yesterday we were at the WPP Commerce event and we did see, for example, some of the data that Kantar was sharing. Today, 60% of all e-com sales is happening outside of the metros and happening from tier 2, tier 3 towns, and that's where there is a huge explosion. And one normally hears this talk about India as a market kind of leapfrogs, and we just go from like step one to like step six, etc. But if you actually dissect that and look at Bharat or the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 towns, rural India, etc. I think they leapfrog like 10x of what the rest of India leapfrogs. So yeah, there is a lot of interesting work happening. For example, in our agencies for some of our clients who obviously focus on those markets, whether it's in terms of leveraging platforms like the mobile, whether it's in terms of working with some of the big telco partners, or even kind of creating content that works for them and kind of closing the loop. And I think some of the other building blocks that are slowly falling in place in terms of infrastructure, in terms of, for example, the payment systems that have been set up, etc., are also helping in that regard. So yeah, we're extremely bullish on that part of the country, and I think digital platforms, mobile platforms are the ones that can truly bridge, India with Bharat, so to speak. And very soon, probably just be one kind of a market. Yeah.
And then great that you mentioned that. So the next question that I was going to come to was that now, like you said, people are leapfrogged, and it's just mobile native. They probably do not even know what a desktop or laptop is, and
Yeah.
they're directly a connected consumer from the mobile, right?
Yeah.
Using their mobile. So now, in that sense, how are you going about with digital strategies for Bharat? Whenever any brand approaches you or talks to you about going there, doing all of it, understanding, identifying, engaging, and acquiring. So
Yeah, I mean, we've there's a lot of research which we've done through our agencies like Kantar and GroupM, etc., to actually try and understand how the consumers in rural India actually use the mobile phone. And if you actually go back in time, maybe 10 years ago, their usage of the mobile phone would have been quite different from the usage in urban India. What they would kind of get in for and the kind of content they would consume, etc. I would think in the last few years, the differences have narrowed to an extent. Although I still think in some pockets, there could be some difference. So I think the first thing is to try and actually figure out how the medium is actually being consumed and how it's actually being used, and then to try and create, messaging or campaigns that actually you resonate, provide utility, are authentic, and so on. So. Yeah, and there have been some great case studies, as you're aware, of how some of the large advertisers have actually directly reached out to consumers in so-called media dark markets, using only the mobile phone, and then actually establishing a complete channel for themselves. So we'll start seeing a lot more of that going forward.